They're turning to some familiar tools in the wellness space. I'm blown away by this. I'm clearly not.
You're not
taking
doing
good
peptides
care
and
of my
giving them
dog.
to the pups?
Yeah, peptides, anti-aging drugs, red light therapy. This is not for the owner, Carol. It's for the pet.
It is indeed. Anna Edney is a Bloomberg News national healthcare reporter. She knows about this stuff. She wrote about this for the Bloomberg Big Take, and she joins us here on this Sunday. Anna, we've been having some fun reading this, talking about it, leading up to having a chat with you. Tell us what is going on. I mean, I haven't even done peptides. I haven't given them to my dogs, but there's a lot of people out there who are.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Both of your dogs are adorable. I love those pictures. But we talked, my colleague Annika and I, we talked to some pet owners who are looking at, they're thinking a lot of times about longevity and wellness for themselves, and then they're extending that to their pets. If they're going to live longer, they want their pets to be there with them. So they're trying peptides. Red light therapy was a big one that we heard about, as well as a longevity drug that people are trying. This is not a drug that's approved for this, called rapamycin.
Yeah.
It actually is approved for organ transplants to try to help people not reject the organ, but in smaller doses, they're trying it out for.
That sounds a little
longevity.
extreme. Is it safe for our dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good question. A lot of the vets that I talked to were cautious about that and said, there was one woman who at University of California, Davis, who told me, often when we see a sick pet come in, we are asking what they're taking in addition to, the pet food. And if it's supplements, we ask them, to stop the supplements for a little while, because often that's actually the cause of some of the illness, particularly if they're getting them from somewhere that maybe isn't just kind of your regular pet store aisle. Wow. And so, I think that's something that pet owners need to weigh when they're thinking about this. There is a clinical trial in dogs going on with the Dog Aging Project at the university, at Texas A&M University. I talked to a vet there who's the chief veterinary officer of that, and they're looking at this. They said they haven't seen any side effects that might be linked to the drug, but it's early. They're still enrolling dogs, so they don't know everything yet.
Anna, any of us who own pups know it's not inexpensive. We've all had those vet bills. Just talk to Tom Keene about them. It's often a common narrative.
Camel Fee might be watching now.
In the morning. I'm curious about what this all costs and how it plays into the bigger picture of what we are spending on our pets.
Yeah, we are spending a lot of money on our pets. Looking at about $165 billion just in the U.S. Coming up, and that's for your normal, or I guess your usual pet care, things you think of like veterinary visits and pet food and toys, things like that. And then there's the pet supplement market, which is a smaller portion of that, about $2.9 billion expected this year. But I did talk to a woman who follows this market, and she mentioned that she's seeing a lot of those supplements catch on to this trend, though. They're not just saying they're for senior dogs anymore. They're saying they're for longevity, looking at that, even if they're kind of some of the same supplements we've seen for senior dogs before. So, there's a lot. People are spending hundreds of dollars a month on some of these drugs and on the red light therapy. We talked to a pet owner and his dog nanny who helps with the dogs and helps keep all of their pills and their food and their supplements going throughout the day, and does their red light therapy with a red light laser. So people are definitely who are interested in this putting up a lot of money.
You have a dog nanny, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's called Joe. I walk him every morning. I do what I can. But what's the end game here? By the way, my dog would never sit for red light therapy. Are our dogs going to be living till they're 30 years old or something someday?
I think that's what the people who are doing this really hope for, is they're going to extend the life of dogs. I talked to the chief executive officer of Elanco. It's a pet animal health company, and he said we've already extended the life of a lot of our pets throughout the years. They used to live outside mostly. Now they're inside. That helps. They're doing their vaccines. They have better food, better nutrition, and each of that adds 5-10 years every time. And so as we're looking at companies like Loyal, who's trying to bring a longevity drug to market, or even Elanco that's trying to work on some things to help with these diseases that can kill our pets, we can add another 5 or 10 years. I don't know if we're looking at forever for our pets.
Wow. I don't know. I guess it beats taxidermy in the end.
You had to go with it.
People were doing this with their dogs.
Crazy.
Anna, thank you. You're great. I love this story.
Let them, all I can think is the red light and the little puppy on the bed, and it's got the little white things on.
Don't even sit still to give him a bath.